Good morning, Bucknutters, and welcome into the Bucknuts Morning 5. This is Friday, March 6, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I am joined by Bucknuts contributor Jonah Booker. J-Book, the big news from yesterday is that Ohio State offensive lineman Demetrius Knox suffered a broken foot and will miss all of spring ball. He's expected to be out 6 to 10 weeks. This really hurts the Buckeyes' depth at guard this spring because Knox was expected to be, at least in my opinion, the top backup guard behind starters Pat Elflein and Billy Price. And this now leaves Marcellus Jones as the only scholarship backup guard this spring. So it's not a huge deal because Knox is expected to be fine for the season, but this does shake things up a bit for the spring. J-Book, some of the backup tackles on the team, guys like Evan Lyle, Kyle Trout, and Brady Taylor, might have to shift inside and play some guard this spring to fill out the second-team offensive line. What are your thoughts about this situation?
Yeah, it's a big blow with Big Meech going down already before spring ball, before it even started. You're looking at a guy who has the potential, to really push for playing time with the rotation next year. Huge blow losing him, but it's the next man up. As you said, you mentioned some of the guys that may slide inside for the rotation. Ed Warner loves to rotate guys in and out different spots to see how they fit. So this provides an opportunity for these other guys to kind of step up, especially Marcellus Jones, for a guy that a lot of people really not too high on, but the coaching staff believes in him. So this is his opportunity to show what he has this spring.
And these guys that might have to shift down and play some guard, as we always like to say, as everybody who follows football knows, it's easier to be a tackle and move to guard than it is to be a guard and move from tackle, at least in most cases. So these guys like Evan Lyle, Kyle Trout, Brady Taylor, most of them are in the 6'6" range. Brady Taylor's about 6'5". He's the short guy of the group. How tough of a transition will it be for these guys who are tackles to shift inside if that's the direction Ed Warner's going to take this spring?
For those guys, I don't think it's going to be too big of a shift, especially a guy in Evan Lyles who came from an option-style attack in high school. They said one of the biggest knocks with him was being able to really move his feet when it comes to pass protection, which is a requirement when you're in a tackle. But as a guard, where he thrives at is in his run blocking. So for those three guys, you're looking at an opportunity to really get into that rotation, because you would think that Jamarco Jones will be one of the tackles behind maybe Decker or competing for the right tackle, and then you're also going to have Chase Ferris in there. So this provides an opportunity for these guys to really step up, show what they have. During the season, you really don't get a lot of live reps when you're a younger guy. So the springtime is going to provide the opportunity to show, hey, I'm someone who can compete for playing time throughout the season, because you're going to think there's going to be blowouts throughout the whole entire season. So this gives the opportunity for these younger guys to really crack that lineup.
J-Book, you played college football. For those who don't know, Jonah was a defensive back at Ohio University. Give us some insight on how college football players view spring practice. I know it's different for everybody, but talking about the vast majority of players, is it exciting because you're back on the football field again? You're done with winter conditioning and you're back out on the football field. Even if you're on the indoor facility, at least you're back on the football field. You're putting the helmet on. Or is there kind of a lack of excitement surrounding spring ball, since there are no games on the horizon and the season is still about 5 or 6 months away?
Spring ball is a lot of fun, man. When you're out there flying around, you're knowing that, hey, we don't have a game here. So for those, especially those younger guys, because during the season, a lot of those younger guys are imitating the upcoming opponent when it comes to scout teams. So during the spring, you're able to really start to develop guys. Guys start to play that 7-on-7. They're able to do things with the upperclassmen that they normally can't see during the spring because of the scout reps that are needed. So springtime, it's a blast. You get to hit a lot during the springtime, not as much as you would during the season. Like I said, you're playing 7-on-7 a lot. You're scrimmaging. So springtime, it's all about making moves. As Urban Meyer said, hey, springtime provides the opportunity for guys to step up and show that they deserve to be on this depth chart.
Exactly. I am excited just covering it. I enjoy covering it each year because it's not necessarily the starting spots. It's, especially this year, there's not many starting spots open. The Buckeyes are fortunate that nobody left early for the NFL. They didn't have a big senior class as far as starters, so not only do you win the national championship, but you return a bunch of starters, so the Buckeyes are just dripping with talent. But those backup jobs, I'm excited about the backup jobs, and it's just going to be fun to see this spring. But, I want to get your perspective on that. But switching gears to – I'm glad to hear that it's fun for the players too. Switching gears to Ohio State basketball, the Buckeyes have a huge game, of course, to conclude their regular season slate on Sunday at home against Wisconsin. The Badgers clinched the outright Big Ten regular season championship with a win at Minnesota last night. Tip-off for Wisconsin at Ohio State is scheduled for 4:30 this Sunday. The game will be televised by CBS. A whiteout is planned at the Shot, where a sellout crowd is expected. And let's ignore for a moment that white is one of Wisconsin's official colors, and it is not one of Ohio State's official colors. But, J-Book, I'm just looking forward to a raucous atmosphere at the Shot on Sunday. I think there's a decent chance the Buckeyes will pull off the upset. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet the house on it, but I definitely expect Ohio State will give Wisconsin a good game this Sunday. If the Buckeyes do win, they could put themselves in position to get as high as a number 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. If they lose, they're probably looking at anywhere between a 6 and an 8 seed, depending on what happens in the Big Ten tournament. But, J-Book, do you give the Buckeyes much of a chance against the Badgers on Sunday?
Absolutely. You're looking at an Ohio State basketball team that's starting to come around a little bit. Those guys starting to thrive once they're able to get out and run a little bit, show that athleticism. You got a bunch of young pups on that team that's starting to, really insert themselves into being a dominant force. So if you can get those guys out and running, they absolutely have a shot. Wisconsin, they're going to come in and challenge. Bo Ryan, he wants to stick it to Thad and Ohio State as much as possible, but at the end of the day, that home court advantage might play a big role. Like you said, the whiteout, the atmosphere, these guys are starting to, kind of get into a groove as they're heading into the Big Ten tournament. So I absolutely agree this Ohio State basketball team is going to give Wisconsin everything that they can handle this weekend.
On the site today, Bill Kurlick already has his daily recruiting buzz posted for subscribers. So you recruit nuts out there, I know there's plenty of you. Check out Bill Kurlick's recruiting buzz. Also for subscribers, I will have a story later this morning called In Too Deep, which will give predictions on what Ohio State's Too Deep will look like on the offensive side of the ball this spring. I'll follow with the defensive version of In Too Deep on Monday, which is the day before spring ball starts. There are some good position battles to follow this spring, both starting and backup spots. I want to give you a heads up that part 1 of In Too Deep will be posted later this morning. Also on the site, the boarding house will have some very interesting items, including one on rising sophomore defensive end Jalen Holmes that I know you will enjoy. Spoiler alert, Buckeye fans, Holmes is coming along very well. So look for that and the usual 4 other items in today's boarding house around noon. And one more thing, I will be co-hosting Common Man & Company on 97.1 The Fan in Columbus today from 3 to 6. So if you want more Buckeye discussion, more sports talk, tune in to 97.1 The Fan today from 3 to 6, or listen online at 971thefan.com. Thanks again to my man Jonah Booker. He came strong. And thanks to you for tuning into the show. I appreciate it. Have a great day and a great weekend. Take it away, best damn band in the land.